So I'm feeling a little bit tired today. So this morning I saw a doctor and he told me that there is some problem with my blood, and that is the reason why I was drinking the black tea. And Gaden Rinpoche and Choktrul Rinpoche requested me to take rest since I do not intend to complete everything, and so since I'm not planning to complete all the Lam Rim texts, so they requested me to take some rest. So until we reach very high level of attainments, of course, so this contaminated body, of course, we have to take care of. So I cannot stress too much with my body. So today I will have a very shorter version, shorter session today, this afternoon. And there is some Dhamma friend from Sri Lanka whom they have met a short movie about Lord Buddha, the life story of Prince Siddhartha, and I met them before. And so they wanted to show the movie to me first. So I told them, since I'm going to South India, and there will be tens and thousands of the monks, so if you can give a trail or show the movie to the tens of thousands of monks, then it will be nice. So they are planning to show the movie. So now it's 1 o'clock. So maybe I will conclude the session by 2 p.m. and after that there will be the screening of the movie by Sri Lankan monks on the life story of Prince Siddhartha. So today I wanted to also tell with this. So tomorrow is 31st of December. And day after tomorrow is the first day of the 1st January, and it is considered, and it is also the New Year day. And Sera Rinpoche from Markham region of Eastern Tibet, and from on the behalf of all the people, wanted to offer a long life to me. So they intended to do the long life. So since we have a huge gathering of the Sangha this time and also the lay people, so on such a huge gathering and on the 1st January, if we do the long life puja on also that day, and it will be wonderful. And it was requested by the Markhambas, the people from Markham region, and also generally all the devotees and all the attenders have really great faith in me, but not like the general ones. So I do not wish to have very long chantings as done in normal long life pujas. So as I used to say that, so the teaching of the Lord Buddha is what is a reality, and we have to also face the reality. So the ritual and the ceremonies, I'm not so inclining towards these ceremonies, and I consider this as a waste of time. So during the long life puja, so the Omje, the chanting master, will recite. They may solemnly stay for tens and thousands of times. So even the chanting master knows that I won't stay for tens of thousands of years, but with some grains in his hand, and he says that I got the assurance from my master that my master will stay for tens of thousands of years. So these are all the kinds of melodious songs, so which are all, in fact, not real. In fact, not realistic. And I also used to do the long life puja in a very shorter version. First recite the praise to Shagya Buddha Muni 3 times, and after that recitation of a Heart Sutra. So Heart Sutra is the main sutra of all the Buddhist followers all over the world. Then after that, recite the text composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, the praise to Lord Buddha upon teaching of Tibetan origination. So this text is a wonderful text composed by Lama Tsongkhapa in praise of the Lord Buddha, and the content is actually very vast and deep, and generating faith to Lord Buddha in terms of understanding the Lord Buddha as a teacher who gives us the teaching of Tibetan origination. And Lama Tsongkhapa himself has stated in the text that he developed a special devotion to Lord Buddha, having seen or understood the profound view of emptiness. So I am, as Phapang Rinpoche used to state in his text, that I am a little bit against all these practices. So even though the 16 arahats are, of course, very, very precious, so apart from the Rafula, there is one stanza composed by him, but other than the 16 arahats, there is not a single text composed by the great 16 arahats. Of course, we say that they are surrounded by hundreds and thousands of the devotees and other solitary realizers and so on, but there are nothing that we can actually practice that is present in these days. But apart from that, the 17 Indian Pandits, of course, through their understanding of the great learning, concentration, meditation, and so on, they have composed such great and wonderful texts which we can practice even today. I think it was a few years back when I have the gallbladder operation, and the illness before that, I went for a pilgrimage to Nalanda, and we do a recitation of Abhisamaya Alamkara, the text by Lord Maitreya. I think we also recite the supplement to Madhyamika by Chandrakriti. So then I thought that. So from this Nalanda Institute, of course, hundreds of scholars evolved from this great university, and whatever the text composed by them, we Tibetans are the only one who preserve those texts and make it available to the today's world. So in terms of the general teaching of the Buddha also, all these texts are composed on the basis of the general presentation of the teaching, not particularly to any individuals. So therefore, it's nice to recite the praise composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. And also, I am myself is very old now, and my name is also among the supplication to all the Dalai Lamas from the first almost till the 14th. So, and also there are some additions to the original text later on, composed by Trishul Rinpoche. So we will also recite the supplication to the life stories of all the Dalai Lamas. Since I have the title of Dalai Lama, and so even though I am kind of a mischievous, but even though I'm a mischievous, of course, since I'm one of the Dalai Lamas, so they have to also take care of me as being a Dalai Lama. So therefore, we will recite the supplication to all the Dalai Lamas, the text. So after that, we will recite a short mantle offerings. And while reciting the mantle offering, as I said, so even though I criticize you on saying the tens of thousands of years, but you have to recite the verse saying, "May our Vaishnava Gurus lives for thousands of years." So a few years back, one of the functions for the Tibetan astrological and medicine, and they invited me, and I told them about my own view about the Tibetan astrological and medicine, and I said that, of course, I have good experience with Tibetan herbal medicine, and it's really beneficial. I have no interest, or I do not believe in the astrological calculations. The fifth Dalai Lama says that according to the astrological calculations, this date is important, but on that, of course, there will be also dogs who are born on that day. So that day itself, how can we consider as precious? So I told them that I have not much interest and believe in the astrological calculations. And later, the teacher who's teaching those astrological calculations, and they also feel disencouraged, and also they I had to tell them later that you have to study hard, even though I do not have any personal interest, but it is a part of Tibetan's culture and tradition. So whether I have an interest or not is a different thing. So you have to do it. So similarly, even I do not have interest in you saying tens of thousands of years that your guru stays, but you have to recite it tomorrow. So after tomorrow, so we will have this long life. So that's on the 1st of January. And I have a request for all of you. On the first day of, on the 25th, according to Tibetan calendar, on the Mahapari Nirvana of Lama Tsongkhapa, you all recited the essence of all the knowledge of interpreted and Tibetan composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. So I request you to do the same thing on the 1st of January, starting from the Madhyamika philosophy onwards. So on that day, you have recited till the Chittamatharan philosophy. So from that day, if you recite till all the Madhyamika part. So then after that, if you recite the verse in praise of the, I'm not trying to praise myself, but that His Holiness is the verse which says that His Holiness is the only source of all the benefits in the Tibetan region surrounded by snow mountains. So such a huge gathering of having sanghas and of course having devotees from different countries and also a lot of followers from Nepal and all the Himalayan regions. So that's why I thought to give a Chenrisik, 1000 Nam Chenrisik initiation. So third morning, we will have initiation on 1000 Nam Chenrisik. As usual, on the day of the initiations, so first we will have a session for generating the bodhicitta mind, the aspirational bodhicitta mind. And before that, there will be an opportunity for the layperson to take layperson vows if there are any interested ones. So as it is stated in the ritual text of the initiation that the disciples and the followers need to be of 4 different varieties. So we have, in that way, we have the layperson, people who take the layperson vow. After that, we take the bodhisattva vows. And if we give the initiation after that, the preparatory and the actual one, then after that also the bodhisattva vows. So on the third day, we will do that, completing it. In the afternoon, I have other programs to see people around here. So you all can pack your bags from the second morning, from the second evening, and when the third morning after the initiation is over, so you can go back to your own home. So your body, you have to bring it to your own place again, but your mind, as we have discussed for many days here, so your mind should be focused on the teachings, at least for a few days after that. What we have discussed for many days as developing antidote for the self-cherishing and the self-centered I, so you should never forget those important points. And also, while taking the Bodhisattva vows, also you have to make pledge. So similarly, even though you will all be departed to the different parts of the world, but you have to remember those important points. So those who have understanding about all these things, of course, it is I have nothing to say. But those the beginner ones, so who are here for the first time, and those who have new interest, of course, it will be helpful for you. And the fourth, I will also go back to my own homes. On first, I have to go to some universities to give some public talk in Bangalore city. And later, I have to also meet a Hindu master. And after that, I will also go to Nagpur to see some new Buddhist people. And I will also go to the Bandara Tibetan settlement, and also go to the Bandara city, and also to give some public talk. So I have to go to that settlement. And after that, I have to go to Raipur. And last year, I also went there on some functions of some universities. So at that time, I happened to see a pilgrimage center. So in ancient times, it used to be a way for the kings to travel. And near that place, there is a cave, meditation cave of Nagarjuna. So as soon as I heard that there is a meditation cave of Nagarjuna located there, I felt the urge to visit there. So after completing my public and official engagements, so I am going to visit that place. So there is no road for the cars to go until near the meditation caves. So I have to walk for quite long, but I'm not sure whether I can do that or not. So if it is possible, then I'm intending to go there. And also I brought the text of Nagarjuna, the fundamental of the middle way, to read there once I arrived, and also to some prayers. Then after that, I have to return back to Dharamsala. So these are the programs from tomorrow onwards. So you have to keep that in mind. So we will continue the text. So we are reading continually from the sacred words of Manjushri, Lam Rim Shelong. So is it better to take the tea now or later? So maybe you can start giving the tea. Otherwise, while seeing the movie, and if you take the tea, it will be wonderful. So I will. So maybe you can stop the tea for a while. So while seeing the movie at 2, you can watch the movie and also have the tea. So it's a sweet tea, so there won't be butter. So I've on some occasions of taking initiations from my masters. So they used to take the essence of the butter from the tea and put it on their foreheads. So I will first move to the southern lineage. So if you happen to have the new and the revised edition, we are on page number 219. Sorry, I do not have the older copy with me now, so if I get it, I will let you know the page number. So we are on the outline training the mind on the stages of the path, shared with intermediate beings. The Lamb for the Buddha says, with the will to turn from samsara's pleasures, whose nature is the rejection of sin, whoever is concerned with personal peace alone is a being known as intermediate. Sorry, I make a mistake. So we are on the page number 227, training the mind on the stages of the path of great beings. The Lamb for the Path says, he who, based on his personal suffering, wants only to eradicate all the suffering borne by others, is known as a superior being. This has two parts: how to generate the spirit of enlightenment. So I'm reading the book Pearl Garland, an anthology of Lam Rim's new and revised edition, page number 228. The precondition for generating the spirit of enlightenment is to perceive the good qualities of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas directly. Failing this, it is to study them in the collection of scriptures on the Bodhisattva path, or for want of studying them in great detail, to understand roughly why this spiritual quality is indispensable to attaining Buddhahood and so on. On this basis, at the present time, there are two key mind training practices. Why is it necessary to train one's mind according to the 7-point instruction, causes and effect, which is the tradition of the great Lord, the glorious Atisha? Buddhahood originates in the spirit of enlightenment, which in turn arises from the superior intention. This proceeds from compassion, which arises from love. The latter derives from repaying kindness, which in turn flows out of remembering it, and this comes from recognizing all beings are your mothers. Given the significance of this order, you should reflect in the following manner. Just as samsara is unlimited, so is the number of my rebirths. As a result, how could I possibly not have taken rebirth after having been conceived in the womb of every sentient being? By viewing this instead of being fabricated, the recognition of each being as your mother should come to you as it does regarding your mother of this life. Once you have gained this experience, the following step is to recall their kindness, thinking, my mother of this life kept me in her room for after 10 months. She neglected her own happiness, hunger and thirst. Everything she did, good or bad, was for the sake of her child. She gave me life and a body with freedom and fortune. Such was her great kindness at the beginning. After I was born, she cared for me by placing me on a bed of soft cloth, nurturing me tenderly, looking at me with loving eyes, greeting me with kind smiles, calling out to me with affectionate names, nourishing me with her sweet milk, feeding me food with her tongue, cleansing my nose with her mouth, wiping my dirt with her hand, holding me to her warm body, protecting me from the frights of fire, water and eclipse, and sincerely she would have chosen her illness or mine and her death or mine. Such was her great kindness in the middle period. Having grown, she gave me or had others grant me knowledge, starting with things as simple as the way to eat and so forth. Pondering this, meditate until your eyes fill with tears, your hair stands on end, and you are deeply moved and filled with great solitude. So this is about the thinking about the great, thinking about all sentient beings as one mother, and the next is having such kind of a thought, then how to repay the kindness of our mothers. I'm moving to page number 230. So here it completes the first outline of 7-point instruction, causes and effects. So second is mind training according to giving and then taking, the tradition of the conquerors, Son Shantideva. The guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life says, whoever wishes to quickly protect himself and others should exchange self for others and practice the secret instruction. And whatever happiness is found in the world, all comes from desiring others' happiness. Whatever misery is found in the world, all comes from desiring personal happiness. What need is there to say much? The child did pursue their personal benefit, the moon accomplished others' benefit. Behold the difference between the two. So I'm moving to page number 231. So we have completed that outline. So next is maintaining the spirit of enlightenment through ritual. Once you have trained well in the spirit with its double concern explained earlier, if you do not rely upon ritual, you will just generate the nature of the spirit of enlightenment. To enter the perfect path, an excellent ritual is important. The preliminaries of the practice consist in refuge, bodhicitta, accumulations, and training in the spirit of enlightenment. The central part of the ritual consists in maintaining aspirational bodhicitta through ritual. Regarding the final phase, refer to great and middle and expositions of the stages of the path for the explanations of the precepts that prevent the decline of the spirit of enlightenment in this life and in others. Since all the subtleties of the practice depend on having participated in this transmission, avoid personal invention and oversimplification. Furthermore, the Sutra of Maitreya's complete liberation says, although you may not be able to train in the practice of conqueror's sons, you will draw immense benefits from simply generating the spirit of enlightenment. However, the Brahmavartika says, compassionate one directly taught the methods to overcome suffering. If the causes of these methods affect remain obscure to me, it will be difficult to explain them. So, next. So we're moving to the swift path. And as we have told before, we do not have English translation copy of the swift path, so we will be going through the Tibetan text and giving you a brief account of the outlines and their contents. So we're at the third outline, how to train in the path of great beings. So having trained in the path of the small and the middle person, so we have to train in the path of the great beings. So the door to training in the great being, the path of the great being, is first training on the three trainings or the three higher trainings. And the purpose and the reason behind why one need to train in this great being's path is that in order to benefit the numberless sentient beings, of course, one need to have completed one's own benefits, one's own accomplishments first. So therefore, we need to generate the mind for enlightenment, and we have to often the enlightenment first in order to benefit the maximum number of sentient beings. So the training in the path of the great being can be categorized into two: how to generate the mind for enlightenment, and having generated that mind, how one should train in that path. First is to the actual generation of the mind and generation through rituals. And the first one has two, which is first one is the 7-point cause and effect, and second one is exchanging the self with the other. The 7-point cause and effect, the first one thinking about all sentient beings as one's mother. And there are numerous reasons through which we can look upon all sentient beings as one's mother. The primary one being that the present mother, if we think about how kind the present mother has been to us, so similarly we can think in the same manner to all the sentient beings as they have been our mother for hundreds and thousands of times in our previous lives. So second is, if they have been our mother, then how kind they have been to us. So thinking about their kindness, then repairing their kindness. Then thinking about or contemplating the mind of loving kindness toward all sentient beings, and contemplating or generating the mind of great compassion, which will be followed by the mind of bodhicitta, or the mind for enlightenment. So in order to practice the 7-point cause and effect, as a preliminary practice, it is important to meditate about the equanimity of all sentient beings. So since we are all normal sentient beings and we have a lot of attachment and desire towards our love and the near ones, and anger towards our enemies and the neutral ones. So therefore, in order to develop a mind of sense of concern towards everyone, it is important to first generate the mind of equanimity. So we have to meditate in such a way that first visualizing one's spiritual master on the forehead of yourself, and also visualize a sentient being in front of you who is neutral, who has not done any harm to you, neither any benefit to you. So then think in this way that just as yourself, that sentient being is also by nature someone who wants happiness, doesn't want suffering. So how can we make a distinction between the two and be kind towards your love and the near ones, and be distant from your neutral ones? So having prayed in such way, we have to supplicate to our spiritual master that may I be able to visualize and meditate in such way and be able to see all sentient beings as equal. So if you happen to be in a cave or in a remote place, first with only few neighbors, so first contemplate this upon your neighbors on the right side. Then after that, if your mind is trained a bit, then contemplate in the same way to your left neighbor. Then afterwards, try to contemplate the mind of equanimity, combining the two neighbors together. So similarly, one have to change the focus, the focal object. We have to change gradually from one another and gradually multiplying it. And the reason why we are not able to generate or develop an economy towards other sentient beings is due to our attachment and desire. And we have to visualize and think in such a way that I have been taking rebirth for the numberless time to this samsaric world, all due to the desire. And desire is the cause of my constant rebirth to this samsaric world and all my sufferings. And all the loved ones and the near ones, of including my families, are all a kind of temporary friends, just as we all meet for gatherings and all disperse to their own places. So similarly, all the loved ones that which I care too much and being too loyal and being care too much will all in the time to come will be disintegrate and go to their own places. So without being able to having equanimity towards all sentient beings or looking at all the sentient beings as equal, there is no way that we will be near to developing the bodhicitta, the mind for enlightenment. And one of the main hindrance and another obstacle is the anger, and it is stated in the engaging in the deeds of bodhisattva that all the merits and the gatherings that we have, collections that we have accumulated for thousands and thousands of years, including by giving etc. and offering make to the Buddhas and Tathagatas. So all these accumulations will be destroyed from its root by a mere moment of anger. And Chandakriti has also stated in the supplement to Madhyamika that having anger towards the bodhisattvas, all the accumulations that we have, including by practice of generosity and ethical disciplines for about 100 years, will be destroyed. So therefore, among all the negative afflictions, the anger is the most severe one. So thus, seeing the negative sides of the anger and hatred, one should contemplate about how to control one's anger and hatred. And as we have stated before, and it also exists in the sutra, that whatever person whom we term as one's friend, one's near one, or one's enemies, so from their own perspective or from their own side, there is no certainty that they will remain the same forever. So therefore, there is no reason why we should be kind towards someone and we should hate someone. And the person whom we consider as our enemies, so it is 100% confirmed that that person may not be your person in the previous life, or he may not be your enemies for the countless number of beings. And the person whom you care so much in this life may be your enemy the previous life. So if we contemplate in this way, then it is very difficult to find someone to whom to be attached and to whom to get anger. So in this way, we will be able to generate a very decent mind of equanimity towards all sentient beings. And we have to also supplicate at the end that may I be blessed, that I be able to generate such a mind. So having seen all the sentient beings as one's mother, and from there to contemplate, from there onwards to the remaining 7 pieces of cause and effect, till the generation of the bodhicitta mind. So we have to contemplate in this way, having visualized or meditated about meditated your masters on your head. And we have to use the logics that are present in the Pramana Vartika, that the mental continuum that is present in the baby, or as soon as we were born. So the similar mental continuum has been preceded even before that. The reason is that it is also by its nature a mental continuums. So for example, the current mental continuum present in us. So in this way, we are proving that the mind itself, the continuity of the mind is endless. From the beginning, there is no beginning to the continuity of the mind, and there is no end to the continuity of the mind. So in that way, since mind do not have a beginning and an end, so therefore the life, the number of the lives that we have taken in the samsaric world also is without limit and without end. So therefore, since the samsara, there is no beginning and end to it, and of course, all there is, we cannot distinguish how many times that all the sentient beings have been once a mother. So in this way, we have to contemplate and look towards all sentient beings as one mother. And again, if we think that why all the sentient beings are your friends, your companions and relatives, and the same reason is that since there is no beginning to the samsara, and we have to move from one life to another, from different realms, and also from one direction to another direction, and from one place to another place. So there is not a single direction, or not a single place, or not a single life that we have not taken rebirth. And also the number of the time that we have taken rebirth, the number is also countless. And there is not a single animal that we have not taken. So we will stop here on the text of meditation about compassion for today.